everyone. Welcome to my vlog. I'm with my very good friend of mine here, Viri. She is a wine steward. We will go ahead and discuss to you or share with you her knowledge about the variety of grapes of for red wine. Let's tell them first the word tannin. What's tannin means?
Tannin is a very interesting thing regarding red wine. In white wine, we're not gonna find tannins. We're gonna look for acidity.
Acidity, yeah.
And the red wine, we're gonna have tannins. The tannins is you're gonna find it when they create the wine in the grape, in the skin of the grape or the seed of the grape, and the root. That's the place that you're gonna find the tannins. And some of the wines that even you can keep for longer, like for example French wine from Bordeaux, like we're gonna talk later about that because of the grape variety we're gonna speak. That one is the tannins, they come in you can keep it for longer, for example, for more years. Instead of high in acidity, if you have a wine that is higher in acidity, like a Sangiovese or like a different kind of there are grape varieties or some wines that they produce to drink it early. That's why we're gonna have a lot of difference between. You can keep it longer with the tannins.
So how you find the taste of it in the wine?
When you're tasting a wine, it's very important. We're gonna look for the color, the smell, and for the flavor. First thing, when you're gonna take your glass, you try to look for a white or something very clear, and you're gonna put the wine. We can start first to know how is the level of alcohol, or how if it's a light body, medium body, or full body wine. The first time they teach me how to know how heavy wine it is to make the comparison between the water, the milk, and the cream. But for me, it's easier when I was taking my WSET. That they teach me. It's very easy. If you can see your finger when you see the red wine, and you can see very clear your finger, that means that it's light body wine. When you barely can see it, it's medium body wine. And if you cannot see it at all, like with the Shiraz, for example, it's completely full body wine. And
that's how you
that's
try to
easier,
taste the wine.
And the tannins, where you feel it, for example, the acidity of the wine, you're gonna feel it in this part. And the tannins just in this. That's why when the sommelier, when we're trying a wine, when they give it to us to try, it like we like sip, and then we do this. And when we do this, is when we not we
So can we say it's the bitterness, a little bit bitterness of the wine?
That's why it's not bitter, but yes, it's like astringent.
It's like a rock feeling in the mouth.
Exactly. That thing to make you feel thirsty.
It's like make you feel dry in your mouth. It's dry up your mouth.
Exactly.
So our first grape variety to be discussed is Cabernet Sauvignon.
Cabernet Sauvignon, this is one of the most famous, if not the most famous grape variety that we have around the world. Why? Because it's a very noble grape. It's very easy to plant around the world. We have a lot of places or a lot of countries that they're good doing that. We have a very nice, of course, the first place we're going to have Bordeaux. Bordeaux, but actually it's not 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a blend, and it depends on the side. Usually it's from Medoc, the side of Medoc, the left side of Medoc. You're going to find more Cabernet Sauvignon. We have another good exponent from the amazing Cabernet is California. But remember that it depends the soil, the terroir that we call it. You're gonna have the kind of Cabernet. Of course, if you're going to a place like California that is very sunny and it's very nice, how is gonna grow the sunny, juicy, and the grape is gonna grow up like this, very chubby. That's why we're gonna have a lot of difference. Sorry for the distractions. But
So how is the taste of the Cabernet Sauvignon?
It depends the soil. It depends the soil. Just For example, if it's California, we're gonna have a jammy Cabernet Sauvignon, very fruity. It depends how is the oak. If it's you're gonna have when you put it in the barrels, you're gonna have different kind of flavors. For example, the vanilla flavor is one of the notes. This is the third note. Third note. We're gonna talk about the barrel.
And it's how's the tannin?
Tannin. This is high in tannins. Cabernet Sauvignon is high in tannins. It's not like a Merlot. Merlot is softer. It's like more fruity.
Okay. So next is the Pinot Noir. Yeah.
Pinot Noir, very difficult grape variety to plant. That's why it's very expensive.
Oh, okay.
And one of the most expensive wines, it has to be Pinot Noir, just because of that. Because it's the skin of this grape is so skinny that is you have
very
to take
sensitive.
care. It's very sensitive to plant. It's very sensitive to insects and climate. It's very hard to plant. That's why Burgundy in France is the place that you're gonna find the Pinot Noirs. And France is one of the hardest places or countries to memorize because they don't put the grape variety in the label like in another country. You have to guess what kind of grape variety it is. It depends the part of France that it will be. That's why I told you the left side from Bordeaux, you're gonna have Cabernet Sauvignon, and when we go to the next grape variety, I will explain the next one.
Okay, so how is the tannins of Pinot Noir? Light?
This is a very light body wine.
Tannins, yeah.
Not tannins, it's light tannins, it's light body. You're gonna have red fruit notes, of course, and you're gonna have mushroom. Dry mushroom or mushroom is one of the notes of this kind of grape variety.
Like strawberry,
raspberry,
cherry.
When we said red fruits, we're going to say strawberry, red berries. When we said, for example, the Syrah that we're going later, we're going to say blackberry notes, it's going chocolate, dark chocolate, like tobacco, because some of the grapes, believe it or not, you're going to have tobacco.
Okay. So the next one is the Merlot. So I think it's the most common red wine.
The second one.
The second one. Because
Yes.
it's like when I was not into hospitality, that's the only thing I know, Merlot.
Merlot.
The first thing.
Yeah, actually, it's very funny, this grape variety. Why? Because it's like, or you love it or you hate it. You don't have medium with the Merlot.
Okay.
Because it's very fruity and you don't have so much complexity. And like I mentioned to you, one Merlot that I really enjoy is now we're coming back to the Bordeaux blend variety, but like I told you, in Medoc we're going to have the left side with Cabernet, and then we're going to the right side with Merlot. That's why we're going to, it's very nice. Because the Merlot with like a small place called Pomerol, they have an amazing Merlot blend.
I think that is
Bordeaux.
the most common brand of Merlot. Yeah, the Pomerol and Saint Emilion.
And Saint Emilion, correct.
And how's the tannins?
It's medium tannins.
Medium tannins.
Medium tannins.
It also tastes like. Anyway, the taste depends on the country or the place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Remember that the terroir, the soil, is very important. The kind of wine that you will produce
with the grapes. Yeah. Okay, next is the Syrah.
Syrah. Now we're going to Rhone Valley, France.
Okay.
In Rhone Valley, they have a very nice Côte de Rhône. Or we're gonna have a Château of the Pape. That is one of the highest quality wines that they have. And actually, I will tell you a funny story about that. Because in Rhone Valley, we have one pope. One century, I don't remember which century. We have two popes, and one stayed in the Vatican, and the other one came to France. And everybody was giving to the Pope different kind of grape varieties, and they say, what I will do with this, so many grapes? I say, I will produce my wine, and they produce the Château of the Pape, and at least has to be 13, and one of that one is Syrah, and the other one is Grenache, and another ones. But Syrah is, like I mentioned to you, from Rhone Valley, France, and you have in the north of Rhone or the south. But you have in Rhone Valley two grape varieties. That is the Grenache and the Syrah.
Okay.
The Syrah is complex. Usually they are blend. the only place that you're gonna find a 100% Syrah that they don't call Shiraz, they call it Shiraz, is in Australia.
Australian, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But usually the Syrah is we have it in a blend in France. They usually with sea salt or with Grenache. They blend the Syrah in Rhone Valley.
Okay, so how's the tannin of this?
This
High
is
tannin?
we're talking about high tannins, yes, high tannins and high in acidity.
Okay.
Yes, that. But if you go to the Shiraz to Australia, it's completely different grape variety. You have completely different flavors with that Shiraz, because the Shiraz, even if it's the same DNA,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a more complexity. Like dark chocolate, blackberry, and
Yeah.
it's like a full of tobacco, like I mentioned to you. It's very nice. I love a very good syrup. I'm not gonna make a commercial, but Penfolds is a good. I
Penfolds?
like Penfolds.
Penfolds syrup?
It's,
Yeah.
it's from Australia, South Australia. They are very good producing
Yeah.
one. So
Okay. So next is the Malbec.
Malbec, another grape variety from France, but this is funny. A lot of people think that the Malbec is from Argentina, but that's not correct. Actually, it's from France and from Bordeaux too.
Uh-huh.
And but when the phylloxera, that it was a sickness that they have for the plants from the vids in France. They brought it in the 19th century. At the end of 19th century, we have a governor. I'm from Mexico, not from Argentina, but in Argentina they have a governor that it was this guy that he was watching how the Chileans, they were producing some wine, and he said, okay, I want to produce wine here in Mendoza, Argentina.
Yeah.
He hired an enologist from France, Michel Piaget. No, Michel Poyer. I don't remember that, but I remember Michel in his name, and this governor brought it, and they start to produce the Malbec in Argentina, and they notice that when it's higher altitude, better Malbec they will produce. And the most important part and the most funny part is they were so proud of the Argentinian Malbec that they have a Malbec Day in Mendoza. This is the 17th of April, and they make a big party and barbecues, and they drink a lot.
Okay. And next to that is the Grenache.
Grenache.
Or Garnacha in Spain.
Garnacha, exactly.
In
exactly.
Spain,
Yeah, this is one of the highest level of alcohol grape varieties.
With a high alcohol content.
Yes, and it's very full body wine. It's very fruity. It's very fruity wine, and it's usually in Rhone Valley. They blend it with the Syrah, like I mentioned to you before, but we have a very nice Garnacha in Spain. Actually, this grape variety in Portugal, they call it Tinta Roriz. It's another grape variety. This is the same grape variety with different names. And the Garnacha or the Grenache, they usually blend it with Tempranillo in Spain, because it's from Ribera del Duero. It's a place, and Rioja, they produce it a lot, this kind of grape variety. And what else? In France, in Rhone Valley, they blend it with the Syrah.
In Rioja.
Rioja region,
Spain,
yes.
and Aragon. Yeah.
Aragon, okay, yeah, and Ribera del Duero.
Okay, so our next wine, it will be the Sangiovese.
Sangiovese.
I like to pronounce it very Italiano. Sangiovese,
Yes,
okay.
Sangiovese, this is the oldest grape from Italy. The name means blood of Jupiter. Sangiovese is very high in acidity wine. I will not gonna lie, I like Sangiovese as a blend. 100% for me is very acidic. We have a very nice Sangiovese with the Chiantis. We're talking about in Florence, and that is
mostly
Chianti
in Tuscany,
region,
right?
in Tuscany. And the one of very nice Sangioveses from House Banfi, or we have a Tignanello. Casantiori is very good with the Super Tuscanis. Sangiovese is very famous. Very, very famous, and like I told you, in Chianti region, and it's a very nice story about Chianti too. because they were fighting. You know that when we have this Chianti here on board.
Mhm.
To see that it's Chianti Classico, you need to have a black rooster.
Okay.
That black rooster, it's
Does it
because
represent something?
yes, it represents something very important for the Chianti region because they usually fight for so long with Florence with Siena. They were fighting for land,
Okay.
and then they make a competition, and they say, okay, Chianti people they're gonna have a black rooster,
Mhm.
and Siena people they're gonna have a white rooster.
Okay.
You're gonna choose your best night,
Mhm.
and as soon the night wake up, you're gonna put your flags around the frontier, and we're gonna know which is your part and which one is my part.
Okay.
And then the Siena people they feed the white rooster, like feeding and feeding,
Yeah.
and the white rooster was very nice, no?
Mhm.
And the Florence people they did the opposite. They didn't feed the black rooster.
Okay.
They put it in a cage in the darkness or everything. And when it was the day of the competition, they released the black rooster earlier, like 3 in the morning, and of
Okay.
course the black rooster started to
Yeah.
and the night wake up and he started to put the flags around the frontier, and that's why Florence is bigger than Siena. That's why it's representative this black rooster for the Chianti people.
Oh, so every Chianti,
Chianti
like Chianti
Classico,
Classico, they have the
they have the black
rooster.
rooster because of that
Legend story.
that story. Yeah.
Okay, next is the Tempranillo.
Tempranillo. Tempranillo is a Spanish grape variety. It's very nice and very smooth grape. In Spanish wines, we have a different catalog, like qualification, but they qualify the wine. It depends. Crianza, Reserva, and Gran Reserva. Tempranillo is the most famous in Spain. It's the most planted. And Crianza means young wine. In Spanish, crianza means crio. They call to the kids crio. Crio, come here, like kid, come here.
Okay.
That's why they call crianza. And then you have reserva, that is reserve, and gran reserve, the gran reserva. It depends how long it's oak. If it's 12 months oak and 12 months in the bottle, it's a crianza. Then we're going to 24 plus 12 months. I don't remember very well the gran reserva, but it's like more than 48 months.
So it depends on
Yes.
the oaking
Oaking,
of the
They
wine.
will say if it's crianza, reserva, or gran reserve in the Spanish wines. But the Tempranillo, you have very nice protos, you have cune, you have a lot of sangre de toro. It's a lot of wines because in my country the Spanish they are the most of Europeans that we're gonna find.
Okay, and then we have the Barbera.
Barbera.
It's Italian one?
Yes, from Piedmont,
Okay.
Italy. A lot of people confuse the Barbera with the Barolo,
Mhm.
but Barolo is Nebbiolo.
Mhm.
No, don't confuse yourself. Barbera is a grape variety.
Mhm.
It's a very nice, it's smooth. It's one
Low
of the
tannins, right?
very low tannins. That's
Mhm.
why it was when I started to drink wine was one of the first ones that I started to drink, and was very familiar with that one and with Montepulciano grape variety because they are very low in tannins. Because before I used, believe it or not, I used to hate wines. Now no more. I really like it.
So it's just mostly like berries.
Yes,
flavors.
it's gonna be very. Remember that if it's a young wine, you're gonna have more red fruit nose, and it's gonna be not so complex wine. Usually, my advice, if you're not very familiar with the wines, you're not gonna drink a complex wine at the beginning. Why? Because you will hate wines, and that's not the point. The point is that you enjoy because wine is food, and you need the food and you need the wine to make a very nice pairing. Complexity, and to make like a couple goals, and then you're gonna have a very nice experience with the food.
And last but not the least, we have the Nero di Avola.
Nero de Avola, it's a popular it's Sicilian wine. It's the most planted grape variety in Sicily. It's made to this they produce it for very young, and they release it, and you drink it as soon as you can because it's very high in acidity wine. It's
Okay.
very fruity. It's very noble. It's very gentle. It's very easy to pair with lamb, and it's very easy to pair with even with some steak, but not so spice or not so produce. It's something you can blend you can pair the Nero de Abola very easy.
So it's complement to every meat
Yes,
dishes.
because it's not so complex,
Mhm.
and they don't take so much to take care of the grape. Not like we're talking about the French wine that they make a lot of things. No, this is very,
Very simple.
easy, very simple, but actually it's a very good grape variety.
Okay. So any suggestion if you are if you are only started to drink wines, what is the
Young
what
and
is the
fruity wines.
fruity wines? Okay.
Fruity wines all the time. If you're starting with that, fruity and young wines.
Such as, can you have the example?
Yeah, Petit Syrah, for example.
Syrah.
It's a grape variety that they produce in the US. It's not a Syrah, they call it Petit Syrah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very fruity, very nice, and very easy to drink. That's the most important thing. Tempranillo, a young, a crianza, you will love it. Nero de Abola, we come back to Nero de Abola,
Nero de Abola.
and Primitivo.
Primitivo.
Everybody loves Primitivo
Mhm.
because it's very high in acidity, soft of tannins, and it's very noble. You can pair with everything like the Nero de Abola, but I think it's more pleasant than Primitivo.
But if you are picky,
If you are picky,
you're picky drinker of
Okay.
wine.
a picky person like me,
Yeah.
no. I'm not picky. I'm not picky.
Yeah. What's the suggestions?
My suggestion is a very nice Chateauneuf du Pape, or you can go to a Super Tuscany wine. But if you are very, very picky and you can afford a very nice Super Tuscany, they're my favorites. They're a lot of complexity there. They have very good grapes like Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Sangiovese, very good blends because the Cabernet Sauvignon is going to give the power and the Sangiovese the acidity and make a very good blend. And the Chateauneuf is one of the best wines too.
Okay, thank you so much, my
Thank
dear
you.
friend Viri.
Thank you for inviting
So,
me.
oh, my pleasure. I hope you guys learned a lot. Our next video will be I will try to catch again my friend Viri for the white wines. So, thank you very much, and don't forget to subscribe if you want more videos about wines and about anything from hospitality. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.